kicked out of my near every bar around. I've been locked up for driving 120 through town. I've been shot and cut with a knife, messing around with another man's wife. But other than that, we ain't nothing, just good old boys. Threw my boss out the window and got fired from my last job. Hot wired a city truck and turned it over in the mayor's yard. Paid my brother-in-law half to death. Lost $20 on his football bet. But other than that, we ain't nothing, just good old boys. Good old boys, we're all the same. Ain't no way we'll ever change. Ain't no harm by the things we do, or the trouble that we get into. Other than a while, every once in a while, we can't help it, it's just our style. Good old boys, it's all we'll ever be. I got 6 weeks overdue. I got caught with a truck full of bootlegs.
Hey, good morning, everybody. Welcome to the Wade and Carter Show. Ash, Brent, Commander, all in the house this morning on a beautiful Monday.
Some time to get used to the scale of the Commander's new setup over there. He had an electrically operated
stand-up desk.
Desk. He could go up, down. It moved. I think it even vibrated. Now we've got like a little pub table.
It's
I got shamed on Friday, and so
you're just not a little pub guy.
This is an 80s small little meeting table.
It's round. It's got, I think, like a vinyl type.
For 30 cents a day. You can sponsor
somebody,
a real desk for the Commander.
Somebody please sponsor this. Speaking of sponsors,
did he at least level it up and it's not?
Yeah. Oh, you need some of those sugar packets.
After the show, the show must go on.
It does wobble.
It does. And that bothers me.
I did try to level it before the show.
Bother me.
Wow. Can you unscrew those little feet?
I don't know. We'll deal with it. We have a show to do.
The Wade and Carter Weather brought to you by the great folks at AT Deerland Feed. For everything you need,
there's Deerland Feed.
66 degrees in Victoria under partly cloudy skies. Heading to a high today of 89. That's my new gig, is when you unexpectedly, I'm going to stub the host. You know?
When I'm drinking?
Yeah, just
coffee,
right when you know coffee, go, well, what do you think, Ash? Coffee comes out of your nose. Hello, Bill Booker. Who's on the podium today?
Daniel Wade White, Greg Garcia, Marvin Mickish.
There you go.
Rena Shearer just missing this morning.
But she's the honorary chairperson of said podium.
Mark Zapata, good morning. Justin Glass, Patrick Strauss, Linda Christ, Micah Patton, Junior Samples, Bobby Leister, Lisa Poole, Scott Snow, Andrew Alvarez, Jordan Glass, Mark Kurtz, Heather Stewart, Monty Howard. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to everybody tuning in on Magic, on YouTube, on Facebook.
Monty Howard.
Roku.
You already said that, didn't you?
Say Monty Howard.
See, when I read it, I didn't hear it, but then when I said it, I heard you say it. Yeah.
So glad you're all here. Glad you're joining us. Sherry Jacobs, Tammy Williams, lining up some guests to talk about the 17 amendments that are on the ballot come election day on the first Tuesday following the first Monday of November.
You've made me think that 17 amendments seems like a lot, doesn't it, Cody?
It does, sir.
I mean, would it not seem like maybe you would have
propositions, I should say. They're not all constitutional amendments. But there are a bunch of them.
Dealing with our state constitution, and look how small the print is on that.
No, they're all constitutional amendments. 17 constitutional amendments.
That's on the ballot. That's a lot of amending.
And you think they do it purposely because they know turnout is low and uneducated voters are going to get out there and just go, yes, yes, yes.
Yeah, I think they do.
And slide them all through.
I can say that I know that there is a strategy to when certain things are promoted. You know, you'll hear of a quick example is school bonds are often put in the off years,
Yeah.
you know, when there's not going to be a huge voter turnout.
I can tell you the one I am absolutely positively going to vote for, and that is Proposition number 2, which is a constitutional amendment to prohibit the legislature from imposing a tax on the realized or unrealized capital gains of an individual, family, estate, or trust.
It actually seems like the wording makes that one make sense.
Right.
A lot of times, like you have to vote for it to be against it. You know what I mean? You vote for the amendment to limit the whatever.
Yeah. And we're going to have some people on this week to talk about constitutional amendment proposition number 3, which is the constitutional amendment to deny bail from certain persons accused of certain criminal offenses. And so
I agreed with your take on this.
I like the premise and the idea, and I think it should be, these people should not be bailed out. This is kind of targeted at violent offenders. I just worry about a constitutional amendment.
Is there another way to do
so.
it without a constitutional amendment?
Yeah, I would say our lawmakers grow a pair and actually pass a bill that would deny bail to certain violent offenders.
Right.
But too many bleeding hearts in Dallas and Houston and San Antonio and
problem.
Austin probably wouldn't get behind it, and it probably wouldn't pass.
Well, let me tell you exactly what happens there.
And too many center mid Republicans who don't want to upset the apple cart.
You got a guy, he's a violent offender multiple times. You know, it started out, you can look at his record. You can see it, right? You see it. He was always arrested as a teen. And then he got, you know, he beat a guy half to death while robbing a liquor store. And then all of a sudden, 2 or 3 years go by and he gets arrested again for something violent. Where common sense just says, keep this guy in jail. The problem is keeping that guy in jail costs money. And as a city, like the city of Houston is like, no way. I mean, we've got to bail that guy out. He needs to be out. So that's a problem. And I don't know what you do. I think here you just leave those people locked up. But I do agree it'd be nice if the legislature, and I agree with your point.
But if this is the way to get it done, maybe it's the only.
But if you do it in a constitution, then all of a sudden, are you setting yourself up for long-term ramifications you didn't intend?
That's my first blush says yes, but I'm not 100% sure. Matt Boucher checking in. Scott Tompkins says, I want a sample ballot for dummies. I got a thing in the mail. It came from the Secretary of State's office. You're not going to be able to see this. I'm going to hold it up, but the printing is that small.
Oh, yeah, because there's so many of them.
Like, I've got to, I mean, I'm going to have to go online, and when we discuss this, probably print something out. That's
Can I throw something out?
Sure.
The Republican website, the Victoria GOP, has a sample ballot on it.
There you go. Bill Booker with a solid point. He says, any permanent bans are a terrible idea. You can support the concept, but it's wrong to lock us in when the future is unknown. I think that's kind of what you were saying, too.
Yeah.
Good morning, Matt Boucher.
Well, the unintended consequences. Well, and Tammy Williams, we've had Marnie Conrad on to talk about the juvenile that was out on bail with a serious past of violent behavior and then shot her son in cold blood over a few dollars.
You guys will recall we did have Ms. Conrad on, and we did get Ms. Conrad in touch with House District 30 State Rep AJ Louderback. They had some productive conversations. He got her involved in Austin.
She made many trips to Austin to testify against some bills that our representative either supported or co-wrote or introduced to strengthen.
She testified often. But now give them an update of where she may be going now. Didn't you say she was either
she had the
governor?
She met with the governor last week at a reception, I think in Fort Bend County, and is very active in the Fort Bend County crime victims group that is pushing for bail reform and other criminal reform. So she's turning tragedy into good work, and that's awesome.
Do we feel like it would be appropriate to put a link to that sample ballot on our website?
Yes, it'll be under
it's
the news.
inappropriate.
Under the news? All right.
Yeah, you just
I'll
go to
do-
WadeandCarter.com and
Yeah.
you can click on news, and Cody's going to put a link so you can go read that ballot.
I'll get on it right now.
Yeah, this is not a sample ballot that came from the Texas from the state Secretary of State's office. This is an explanatory statement that sets to explain what they for. They have the amendment or the proposition, and then there's a 1 or 2 sentence line afterwards. It kind of tells you what they're trying to do and what it's trying to accomplish.
This is
Interesting. Yeah, it is
Very
interesting. Kate Rogers, who was the Alamo Trust's former CEO, resigned.
So her
I think-
job is to run the Alamo.
Little pressure, I think, to do so.
Well, she got some criticism over some writings she made when she referred to Columbus Day as Indigenous Peoples Day.
Yeah, she was trying to. She wanted the Alamo to become a beacon of historical reconciliation.
Yeah, she needs to go away.
Yeah,
She's a leftist.
She's obviously very much
Woke.
yeah. And it's certainly obvious that and anybody who knows the history of the Alamo, there's no reconciliation there.
No.
And
It's
Let's
a monument to a butt whooping that led to
a butt whoop.
the butt whooping, the
The other-
foundation
the
of this
other one,
state
yeah.
as a country.
I mean, and why you have to have a problem representing history the way history
Right.
went down?
That would be like going to Soldier Field outside of Munich and acting like it wasn't there because we beat the crap out of Germany in World War II. That's a good example. Classic example.
And what I think is interesting is we don't hide from the history of what happened at the Alamo.
No, we embrace it. In fact, heroes were made. You know, William Barrett tried. In fact, the guy that we ought to have on to talk about this at some point is the DeWitt and Goliad County District Attorney Brian Cromines, attorney, historian. He's a collector, interesting guy, good guy, and it'd be nice to have him come on and just talk about the bigger picture, the ramifications, if you will, of all of that. Tell me.
Bonnie Howard with an interesting take. My judgment is we amend the Texas Constitution way too much with initiatives that should or could be done with legislation. I don't know enough about it to know why it is so structurally weak as to need so many amendments. I tend to concur. I mean, what do we have on with the U.S. Constitution? 23 amendments?
Something like that. No,
You know,
there's more than that,
over-
right? The 24th, which the president.
25 maybe, yeah.
30, 31,
Somewhere in there.
whatever it takes.
But not, I mean, we were 17 on this piece of paper this time around.
yeah.
But I think that's part of it. I really do. I think our legislators do not want to deal with some of the things, so they put them to the voters, and then they can blame the voters. Well, you all passed it.
It's
You all
interesting,
approved it.
in the quest to not be a hypocrite, isn't it interesting that when it came to school choice, you hired us to do a job, and by golly, we're going to do that job, right? Because that's really what the governor wanted. And people were saying, well, why don't you put school choice to a vote of the people? The people aren't qualified to make this call, right? But now, over something else, cashless bail or whatever, we need a constitutional amendment. The people need to speak. Very interesting how we get manipulated for better or worse. I'm not saying one's better than the other. I'm just pointing out the facts. Y'all can deal with them as you want. That is interesting though, isn't it? People need to, and we even said we hired them to do a job, let them do the job. Well, you just basically said it again consistently. We hired y'all to do a job, figure it out. We don't need to have a constitutional amendment voted on by the public. How does Gavin Newsom still get in the news?
I don't know. Should we take our first break and then
Yeah,
let's
that
talk
guy's
about some of
such
the
a
headlines
clown.
this morning? A slow news day, obviously, for a Monday. Palace Bingo, where friends meet friends. We'll sort it out real quick because November's coming quick and Thanksgiving and everything else in there, so we'll probably have it. week earlier. Than
Yeah,
that.
we need to have it. We need to
probably the
early in
middle,
the month.
probably the middle of November.
What is that date?
14th, something like that. I think somewhere there. Yeah, I can look real quick.
Mark your
We
calendar.
could peg it down right now. If you really
We could
want
peg
to.
it down.
The 13th.
The 13th it is.
All right.
But, hey, look. So it is written. So shall it be done. No amendment needed.
It's
Palace.
going to be
bingo,
handed
we're
to me on a.
friends,
It's
we're
going to be
friends.
handed to me on a tablet later today.
You gave us the responsibility. We made the call. I make the call. USA Concrete Coatings 578 home. Let Charlie Garcia help you and yours. Period. He can help you level that concrete slab, and then you can go to the dollar floor store and they can help you put down new tile,
New carpet,
new rug,
new
Want some
laminate.
new rug, some shag. We may need to get them in here and let them just put a little something over the top of Cody's dome. Get a little.
Do I get to pick what it looks like?
see if we can go to the Cody cam. There's a little glare there. Whoo. Right.
Now that he's not standing and he's kind of more in the corner with
He's
that table.
demure. He's
Yeah.
demure, I tell you. Talk to him about the chopping block for a second. I'm going to fix Cody's camera.
The chopping block, get in there today. They don't have barbacoa boudin again this week, but simply the best deal on meat for all your grilling needs, all of your barbecue needs. Oh, Lord. It's like that Jason Momoa meme where he does a little heart thing, just came to life over there.
Right?
So stop by the chopping block. You're not going to beat their prices and their quality.
Look at
anywhere.
Bill Booker, either coming in Google heavy or just has the knowledge. He says the 1869 Constitution was poorly written. That's why there's multiple amendments. 73 and 74, they tried to write a new one. The effort failed. Tell you what didn't fail, white trash services. They started out with a yellow legal pad, a bunch of names on it, people that had trash. Like that, narrows it down. They started going around from house to house, word of mouth, and they have grown. We take full credit for all the immense growth
Absolutely.
of white trash services because we're basically the only place they advertise. They've got a couple of like billboards that are the size of like business cards. Like you're driving down the road and it kind of looks like one of those barber shave things, It's like white trash. Call us for trash. But we're really the only home of their great advertising ever. That and their website. Go check out white trash services on the interwebs. Good stuff.
So Gavin Newsom says he's going to wait until the 2026 midterms to decide whether or not he wants to throw his name into the ring or his hat into the ring to run for the Democratic Party nominee for president in 2028. Kamala Harris already
Cam the Slam coming out of retirement, baby.
saying she will run, or at least 99% leaning that way. This is the problem with the Democrats. You have somebody who was resoundingly defeated by Donald Trump, thinking she deserves to get back into the ring, back on that horse,
It blows my
and
mind
represent the
because
Democrat Party.
we saw a graphic just the other day. I think it was on ABC that was talking about the disparity between, like it said, let's say Gavin Newsom, and 74% of Democrats say that he should run, and only like 48% of Republicans or of all voters say he should run, like 74 and 52, I think it was. And then under Kamala Harris, it said percentage of Democrats who think she should run, and it was like 44%.
Yeah. The Dems don't want it.
And then the percentage of all voters was like 28%. Like that's the same consistent model we had when they actually had debates, and she was the first one voted off the dais, if you'll remember. And then the Democrats, who are always screaming about democracy, shoved that woman onto the ballot with no time and with no vote.
She acted, the Democrats acted like the monarchy they rallied against last weekend with their no kings garbage, right?
Correct. There's JP. I don't know if JP has something to say or if he's just like can't
He's
sleep.
He's pacing. I feel
Is
like
it
we need him to
insomnia?
get him on the air.
I'd love to get him in here to talk about the Aggies and talk a little college football. Did you see this?
Linda Chris says AOC is the next choice and Newsom is all they have. I don't think AOC is electable either. She's become so leftist.
Oh, there's
no
no
way.
doubt. Oh, look, when he shows up with the laptop, he's
Uh-oh.
mentally prepared to contribute. Did you see this percentage?
It's not. You can't. It's not just a laptop. It's a MacBook.
Can I read this to you in an
Yes.
in an unbiased format? So this is food stamps by ethnicity in the United States. Okay, food stamps by ethnicity. Well, because they're racist.
Because they have to
Government
check
is
boxes
on
in
mic
order,
3.
in order to get them.
So here's the deal. If you're in America and you're Afghani, there's a 45.6% chance you're on SNAP.
Well, are those numbers skewed because we let a lot of them in after the bungled?
I don't know.
Out of
We've let
Afghanistan?
way too many in. It goes down to Somali, 42.5. If you're of Iraqi descent, 34.8% of you are on SNAP. Dominican, Caribbean, Native, 27.6. Puerto Rican, 27.2. Cuban, 25.2. Think about that for a second. We have roughly the same number of Cubans on SNAP as we do Puerto Ricans, and Puerto Ricans are a U.S.
Americans.
They're Americans.
Those seem like odd numbers, though. What were the first two categories?
Well, it's just people on SNAP. The first two were Afghan. 45.6% of them are on SNAP.
I mean, how many Afghanians do you know?
None, thank God. But as you go down through the list, the percentage of them Canadians, 1 out of 4 Canadians that's here is on SNAP. My awfully well-fed looking friend. Are you getting like a little checky check?
Nope. Couldn't
Do
get
you
it.
know
Couldn't get
anybody
it.
that you know is on SNAP?
I don't.
No, but it sounds like a good deal.
It sounds like a great deal. And my deal is I have no problem.
Not right now, because apparently, according to the government shutdown, nobody's getting their SNAP.
I have
In
no
fact, people that
problem
were
with
on SNAP are like going on to TikTok and social media going, we're just going to rob the places now.
Yeah,
you
I
see
got,
those stupid videos
we just
last
shoot
week?
those people.
So maybe it's smarter to have the snap than just let them rob.
Well, see, I don't agree. It's just better to shoot them when they
That's-
rob. And my problem with SNAP is that
3, 2, 1 until Brent talks about putting a bullet in somebody's
Just-
dome.
why not? And tell me that, look, man, gunplay and slavery get things done. I'm at the point where I'm like, look, I want to understand why these people who are so reliant on the government then get butthurt when we say, look, you can't buy Coca-Colas and beer and potato chips with it. You need to buy, tell me what SNAP stands for. Supplemental
Nutrition Assistance Program.
Right. You need to buy protein.
But you get the Coke with the cane sugar or the
Well, you
Or the
got
high
if you're going to
fructose
do
corn
it, you might as
syrup?
well go. You might as well go straight up. Straight
Well,
up.
Here's what I don't understand either. These people come to America for the American dream.
They forget it.
They
involves
forget
work.
they forget what the American dream is, right? Then they're on
Apparently, if you're
gold.
from
Yeah,
India, it's
hard
driving a
work
truck.
and
If you don't speak English, it's driving with a CDL license. That's
California apparently offers the English proficiency test in California for your
12
CDL,
languages.
12 languages.
12 languages. To see if you're proficient in English, they'll give you a test in Indian,
In Swahili,
Swahili.
Mandarin.
Think about that.
How does that prove?
Can you imagine going to China and complaining because the road signs aren't in English so you can read them?
Americans do that every time they go to Cancun. What are you talking about?
Right? Well, that's different. We're paying all their bills too. They
we
should.
ought to all be speaking Spanish anyway.
Right, we
so.
should. Amen. How are you, sir? Welcome
I'm
to the program. By the
good.
way, you've got an audience. There's your camera. Look,
I have nothing to say. I was
You're
just
now
coming
live?
to chat with you guys. I got up at 4 a.m, so I have nothing.
well,
I have
when
nothing to add
when
value.
you're trading Bitcoin in Europe, we know what it's like for you. It's stressful to be up there.
You got any of that Texit coin?
No,
I saw a car the other day. It wasn't a good look. It was outside of what we would call like a third tier motel, and it was like a Chevy something or
Cruise.
another, and it had a Texit wrap on it. I'm like, I want that guy to be a baller, right? I want him out in front of the
In
the
a
Four Seasons
exactly,
in a roller.
in a G wagon.
I mean
Yeah.
that's what the old joke is, that if you're going to go get brain surgery, you want that You don't want that dude rolling up in a Honda Accord.
No, I don't want. I want that guy
Nothing wrong
showing
with a
up in a
Honda Accord.
helicopter.
Great,
That's
sensible vehicle. But
And I want him to rappel down. The last thing you need is for your brain surgeon to fall out mid 12-hour surgery. Cut
Take
me,
a
Mick.
lunch.
Cut me, Mick. I just don't have it in me today.
you got 12-hour brain surgery. You probably anyway.
There's Sean Clark checking in. Did you make it out to that bourbon and cigar fest?
I didn't, but Sean's a great dude.
Coach, that was a wonderful event for Victoria. It's going to happen again next year. Only like 348 more days. It's going to happen again.
They're starting to take down the old Harbor Bridge in Corpus Christi. Apparently, that's starting to.
Yeah, they've got it ready. They're going to lower that middle section. I don't know how.
So Clouds Bridge is done, right?
Clouds Bridge
Yeah.
is done.
So they blow up the old bridge?
Well, no, what they're basically doing is going to the middle, and so there's obviously a span.
Yep.
And they're going to make the cuts. And as I understand it, they originally were going to let it literally fall into the channel, and then they plan to have it like dismantled and out of there within like 2 days.
Apparently, that center span is going to be cut and then lowered onto a barge. That would be cool.
I
that's
can't
cool.
even imagine.
But the whole ship channel's closed right now, so they get that done.
Honestly, you just almost have to pray that goes safely. You've got a
Right.
huge amount of expense. Now, I guess they could go up there and remove the sections of pavement so that all you've got is the structure.
Yeah,
Man, how would you like to be on that work crew?
They're paying welders a bunch of money. on that.
Absolutely.
Oh, I
got
they are.
guarantee it. I guarantee it.
And all the, those guys that drive those boats in that area, like they got to be paying those dudes a ton of money.
Oh yeah, no doubt, no doubt. What did you? Some put you on the spot. I put you back on the camera. Do you have anything over the weekend that's like top of mind? That's like, hey, this is a big story. Just
Over
anything.
this past weekend?
Just anything. Yeah.
No,
last
I
couple
think
days.
all the sports stuff was fun this weekend.
I tell you
I mean,
what,
You didn't watch the Cowboys then, did you?
look. I know.
No, I don't.
I don't care about that.
I'm talking. Let me rephrase that. The college sports was fun this weekend.
But
What is that? I have no idea.
It's JP's watch.
so no. JP's wearing a Rolex today. It doesn't talk to him. It's not a smartwatch. I'm the smart one. The thing I would say about the Aggies, and Ash and I talked about this earlier. The Aggies under Mike Elko made the adjustments they needed to at the half on the road at night at Tiger Stadium against a
On a
clear
national
rival.
television audience.
Yes, and they did a great job. He was very upbeat about Marcel Reed. I've still got a little asterisk by Reed, but that's okay. I was rooting for the Aggies. I was. and they
Saturday
won.
night, he made all the throws. He didn't make bad throws. He pulled the ball down and ran. That one where he ran into the end zone when he saw the safety look off and the linebacker look off, smart play.
Do you hear him?
And the one where he ran in the end zone was a story because that guy had a history with A&M that he was coming to A&M and then Perkins, I think, and then bailed out like at the last minute. So that was like a little bit of a middle finger to him.
But did
to
you
do that.
hear just then? You don't realize how the media shapes us. Did you hear Ash right there? Let me do it for you. He made the throws. They were good throws, super throws. And he made the throws he had to make, and the objective super. You sounded just like the content was
I don't
Trump-esque.
think he sounded like
Just
Trump.
like that. Just like Trump.
I watched the game. I thought Reed played really well. It was close at the half, and then they blew him out in the second half, which is coaching
And
adjustments.
they fired
that's-
Brian Kelly.
So
already.
partly what
Absolutely.
So
Brian Kelly goes 34-14 over 3 years,
Terrible coach.
and they fire him.
he
Terrible
won.
coach.
He won. He's a weird dude.
He's a weird dude.
But he won 10 games the last 2 seasons.
Here's what
So
I
that's a
saw
hard
deal.
trigger to pull to go, let's get rid of this dude.
And here's the thing: who are you going to go get? Because Indiana's paying their coach, who was on everybody's
Now you
next coach
now you
list.
got
They're
Florida.
paying him $11 million because
Yeah,
he ain't leaving Indiana.
right.
And Vandy's apparently a good team now. The college coaching landscape, you have to, and here's where I think Brian Kelly missed the mark. He does not do a good job of getting into the portal and getting the difference makers, and that's the problem. And I think he's a little bit, in my opinion, the previous era of coaches.
Well,
He
here's
might
the
be able
deal.
to get kids to play, But when kids are making as much money as he is, he can't get them to play.
There was a stat the other day that said something like, and I'm just going to see if it triggers you guys' memory. It said something like, in his first 7 years at Notre Dame, he went to either a bowl game or a playoff.
Brian Kelly.
And then in his last 4, he went to none. And then it's the same thing. In like the 7 years before Brian Kelly got to LSU, they were yada, 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 ranked in the top 5. Or then he gets there to push them over the top, and they haven't been ranked since. Here's the problem with Brian Kelly. When he was at Notre Dame, I distinctly remember him whining. Look at Timmy. Like, comment, double down comment, clarification comment. Timmy will get to it in a minute. Be prepared to be humbled. So here's the deal. Brian Kelly cannot when he was at Notre Dame, he said, I can't get the right players in here. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
I just can't get them in here. I can't get the right players in here.
Oh, Marcus Freeman can't either. Apparently.
Right. So at the end of the day, he's got to go. But now he's gone. James Franklin was the preseason coach of the year.
Notre Dame, right?
No, at Penn State. That
Penn State.
guy. Preseason
He's
coach
going
of
to
the
get
year.
paid.
Yeah. Oh,
Franklin's going to get paid.
And they
54 million is apparently Kelly's buyout.
So I asked Dawn last night.
Cheaper than Fisher.
Of the 5 major head coaches,
y'all are still the winners.
But
Yeah,
if
but
you
not
look
much.
at the USA Today article from yesterday, they said, well worth it
to get rid
to
of
get
him.
rid of Fisher, to pay the money. So
Well, no doubt, and it's already
Yeah,
appeared
they're
to be
number
the
3.
case. Okay, so
of the 5 head coaches that have been fired this year, Division I football, 154 million is the combined buyouts of those
how does that make sense?
yeah. So Tammy, just to clarify for you, she asked. We referred to it as Cloud's Bridge. She said, "Didn't Cloud vote no on the spending package that funded the bridge?" Yes, Tammy. That's the joke. Try to keep up. That's the joke. She thinks she's fact checking when she's really just like this. Right over the top of that dome.
To go back to sports, it's brave for you to wear UT gear today.
Well,
I
there
think.
was never a doubt in our game. If you look back, it was good for the brand. It was just a great day.
I thought Arch Manning looked pretty good Saturday.
Two
I
OTs against
one OT. Well, yeah. So I did make the comment. I go, we have to go to
I'm
OT
saying
back-to-back weeks.
the 2 weekends. I didn't mean yesterday.
Yeah,
Against
but the previous weekend they didn't give up 40 points to a terrible SEC team.
I mean, those are the 2 worst SEC teams. Right?
So I agree with Patrick Strauss quite often that I agree with Patrick. He says it shows how stupid the preseason
And we've
rankings
talked
are.
about that forever on this show.
Why do we, JP, why do we not have a preseason ranking, say here's who we think is going to be good, and then about week 5,
throw it out.
just really, I'm serious. Why not just throw it out?
Because it still plays into the ESPN rankings. Not that those matter.
Right.
But the FPI or whatever uses some of the preseason rankings as part of their calculation.
So Tammy says she's just making sure that we are throwing shade and not compliments. The reality is the joke was for all of our audience that listens all the time, which Tammy includes you. We've had Michael Cloud on the show and said, did you notice how when we used to say, Mike, how's your bridge coming? It's not my bridge. That's a TxDOT project.
Right. That's right.
Right. But then when it came time to cut the ribbon, we made the joke that Michael Cloud was there with the scissors. And that's just politics, right? When the project is
Blake
done.
Farenthold actually probably got the funding for the bridge, right?
But I
a
don't
lot
know.
of it. I don't.
Rest in peace. But I look back and that was the deal. That was the joke. It's not, this is not 60 Minutes. If we show up at your door, you can answer because we're probably not going to attack. There's a chance. If I show up at your door with a
Do you
camera.
get that now? Like the older you get, you're like, is that dude still alive or no?
Right. Sure.
Like I did
But a
that
lot of
last
people-
night. I had to Google somebody. I was like, I'm not sure they're still alive or
People
not.
I went to school with. Yeah.
I did it for you last night. Is who I was doing it for. Brent.
HR Mallory says if that was a home game for Texas this Saturday, the stands would have been emptier than Death Valley in the third quarter.
No, I disagree.
No, Texas was fine. I'll tell you that it is a danged if you do, danged if you don't scenario, right? I mean, Texas has to use overtime in back-to-back games against arguably the 2 worst teams in the SEC.
Which I want to bring up that you talked about Brent, you talked about that the SEC is not a grind.
It's really not a grind. Texas
But you've
sucks.
gone to the two worst teams in the SEC and had to go to double overtime and overtime,
Well,
and it's not a grind.
I'll tell you what my Twitter comment was, that we are the third or fourth worst team in the SEC. So for us to go and struggle against mid and lower tier teams is not indicative of a grind in the SEC. If Rice and Baylor play to a 7-7 tie, you can't tell me that Central Texas is a grind. It's just two terrible football teams. So I'm not here to tell you that Texas is great and that there's so much parity in the SEC. The SEC has bottom feeders just like every other conference. Texas just happens to be one of them, JP. Being self-aware, being honest, doesn't mean – look,
I think there is more parity in college football than
I do too. I think the NILs changed that.
Absolutely.
Oh, well, how does Vanderbilt compete if it's not for NIL?
Because they're smart.
So that's right.
And
They're smart and rich.
They
It turns
have-
out that
wait
helps
a
a lot
second.
of things
How
in
is-
life.
But that didn't help them for the last 60 years because they haven't been this good since 1941.
I know.
Well, it won't last. HR
But
says
you have to love. I mean, you have to love Pavia, right?
Yeah.
I mean, I do.
Well, the guy had to sue to get a sixth year. I struggled with that.
so. HR Mallory
Yeah,
says,
he's your age, Ash.
I know he's close.
and he knows I'm not in this crowd. He says, y'all say Aggies go through some incredible mental gymnastics. Texas fans, I don't know who this was, had thrown in the towel at halftime. I had not. But it says, good thing for y'all, Arch has been able to tune the fans out. I don't know if you watched any of the Texas game at all.
I didn't. Was it on TV?
The SEC
Every
network.
game in the SEC's on TV, bro. So Arch goes down, and he didn't know where he was. I was told after the game he was really did not know where he was. But the Caldwell kid comes in and throws an absolute dime into the corner for a touchdown. And then the Niblet kid with the punt return and yada, yada, yada. I don't know what to tell you. If Texas would have lost to Florida, had beaten Florida, then we would have beaten the worst three teams in the SEC. But instead we lost to Florida, which makes us about the third worst team in the SEC.
That's going to be an amazing story now that is Arch hurt.
Well, I think you know what? I hope they keep him in the protocol tent. Let's just bring in the Caldwell kid for a while. For $8 million a year, let him wear his Warby Parkers on the sideline.
Which NFL team just got in trouble for apparently not keeping or busting protocol? Where's Scatabo playing? Carolina? No.
What did they do? That he had a concussion and they
The
let
quarterback
him
went in, and then the coach and the player both went over to the tent, and it appeared like appearances. They're saying they didn't do anything wrong, but they were basically the appearance was they went over there and basically said,
But
"Suck it up, you big wimp."
the backup UT quarterback looked better than Arch. I mean, Arch
Giants. Thank you guys.
Arch
it was
is-
the Giants.
And remember last year when
Arch is
Arch
late,
looked
so-
better than yours. So, I mean,
Yeah.
Milton.
looked better than Dak at the end of that Cowboys game.
Andy Rogovich points out that if you take Texas opponents' highest rank of the year, their high water mark so far, we've played number 1, 3, 4, 5, and 10. Strength of schedule, I don't know about it.
And apparently, I saw a stat too that the Aggies apparently have the
strength of record.
have the toughest opponent record.
By the way, that's a
stat.
stat I agree that they do, but it's a stat I'd never heard in my life until 2 weeks ago.
But once again, I mean,
Created by the Aggie marketing team.
I think
I'm only going to one. I usually go to a couple of games a year. I'm only going to one this year, which is the team that.
Well, I knew that one
it's
time they refused your landing spot with your helicopter, and I knew that it rubbed you wrong. Yeah. Oh, Timmy McWhorter Williams says, since you're on a roll, send your West band director to the Ganado band director. Ganado band is going to state again. Let me tell you, we suffered a setback this
smaller
week.
band.
The Harlandale band just sadly outperformed the West band. The West band was somewhat discombobulated because we had senior day. And I mean, if you can fog a mirror and you're about to get out of high school, they marched you across that field. I mean, everybody, flag bearers, cheerleaders.
Nothing's changed.
It's just such a delusional waste of time.
You know, I was thinking about you this weekend because it was the LSU game or one of the earlier games, and they were going crazy.
Oh,
playing
yeah.
all over the place.
And see, it sticks with you.
And it was jammed up, and even they didn't show the A&M band, but you could hear the A&M band the whole that whole show, which
Being disrespectful and disruptive.
You normally don't hear that.
They were playing over them just to be disrespectful.
No, I think they were letting A&M's band play over the telecast, which you don't normally hear.
Right.
But they were showing the LSU band. They were going nuts, like dancing around, and I mean it's fun. I hate that.
It is fun.
Sponsored by Columbia. Yeah, everybody's on coke down there. I tell you what,
You don't think? Well, I mean, there's the problem. Not that there's the problem, but there's the real problem with LSU. Now that everybody has money to spend on players and everybody can pay everybody, you really think Baton Rouge is the Shangri-La?
Well, I think that's
Of
why you're
college
seeing
football?
so much this parity now, right?
Yeah.
Is that other people had LSU was pulling money from hospitals and who knows where, and now it's all somewhat above board. Who knows?
wasn't it just a couple of years ago that they were concerned, literally, that the state university was bankrupt?
Yeah, I mean, I think
they really were.
that's why it's shocking that they're going to get rid of Brian Kelly, because I don't know what the
Well, they
number
love
is. It
football.
59 million, 63 million.
I
It's
mean,
a
if you
lot.
really think about it as a college kid, and this might explain why Vanderbilt has managed to do what they've done in the NIL era, you want to go play in Nashville or you want to go play in Baton Rouge?
Yeah.
Well,
no.
I love Nashville, so I'm going
to
to Nashville.
Vandy.
Like,
Well,
Yeah,
you know,
that's my point.
all they have to do for LSU is they just won't do that repair work on I-10. I mean, like, if you know, you know. How many times have you driven through Louisiana?
they just let that bridge go down
Yeah,
and
for
go
80 miles. Just for 80 miles.
Maybe Michael Cloud could get that bridge fixed with some funding.
We're going to annex Louisiana.
that bridge is the worst.
Oh,
Coming and go, it's worse coming back because you got the sun setting and you've been in New Orleans for a
did you see
weekend.
that Scattaboo kid go down with a dislocated ankle?
I didn't see that.
It was like free flapping. It was bad.
Yeah.
So he's out for a while.
He's out for a while.
This season, probably.
And knowing that kid, he'll miss like a week.
Chances
He'll be
are good.
back.
He'll be in the
You know-
he'll be in the protocol tent.
Jab him with as much
Yeah. Oh, just
Horse-
drugs as you
horse
could possibly.
liniment.
it's crazy.
Just rub some
Yeah,
cap-
you
just
didn't
rub
watch
some
the Texas game?
capsaicin on it.
It was exciting. Texas game was exciting. We're not good. We're not good. OU got exposed again.
I think that I did watch some of it. I did find it. It was on, I don't know, the
Ocho?
the loco channels or something.
Right.
But
Or the ESPN network.
but I do think they're gonna I'll bet they lose 2 for the rest of the season, would be my guess.
Texas will lose out.
No, lose 2.
So they play who?
They
Vanderbilt?
got 4 of 2. So they win 2, lose 2.
Who do they have, Ash? Commander will bring up the
They got A&M at the end,
We'll
right?
beat
Know
A&M.
that.
Arkansas right
Oh,
before the
please.
week before.
See, that's the attitude I want from you. I think Texas beats A&M. I really do. I've said it all year long. It doesn't mean that it's not going to affect A&M. They're still going to make the playoff. It may even be better for them.
I may go to that game now.
Yeah, I think Texas beats them. I don't think their offense is going to do well with our defense. That's the key to me. What do you find?
I don't know.
Cody?
Your defense just gave up 40 to Mississippi State. I don't know if that's important.
Vanderbilt, Georgia, Arkansas, and A&M.
I can see us losing 3 of those games. I think
I
we
said
beat
2
Arkansas.
and 2, so we're
Yeah,
not
no,
that far.
I think we could lose A&M as well. Vanderbilt is going to come in. So, HR Mallory, BS, you won't beat the Aggies. Why? Because it's only happened 76% of the time in your lifetime. I mean, you're due. This is uncharted territory. The Aggies are 8-0. Good for them. How many of you, show of hands, I'll give you the chance right now. How many of you really think the Aggies are going to win a national championship this year?
I think they have a decent chance.
Well, it's better than
It
no
wasn't.
chance.
I like how he didn't answer the question.
No, he answered it. I mean, I understand what he's saying.
I
He
think
don't
they have a decent chance. He didn't want to go out on that limb and go, "Yes, we're going to win it."
I think you're gonna see Alabama in the playoff, and I think Alabama
too.
would beat you. I think you're gonna see Ohio State in the playoff. Ohio State would beat you.
I think we'll see them in the playoffs. I don't know if they'll beat us, but it's going to be.
I'd like
gonna
y'all
be
to play
fun.
Georgia once in your lifetime. Just play Georgia once. Did you know, like, nobody cares about this because the SEC is such a grind, but did you know that Texas has played 18 games in the SEC and won 16 of them? It's a grind, man. I remember you, sir, telling me it's going to take y'all years to catch up to the SEC. We're 16-2 in the SEC.
Well, you got lucky scheduling the first
shit.
years.
There it was. There's the asterisk that comes from the Aggies. Oh, you got the easiest schedule. There is no easy schedule, right? Every game's a grind.
Obviously, you guys can barely beat Kentucky until you go to double
Did
overtime.
you know that when Georgia was defending champ
How
last
embarrassing.
year, Georgia beat Kentucky 13-12.
But Kentucky's got that Jared Lorenzen kid. He's good.
So, Brent, which ones do you think they'll lose? Vandy, Georgia,
I think
Razorbacks.
they'll lose 3. I think they'll beat Arkansas. I think they'll lose 3. If I had to bet, this team's too inconsistent on offense. Our offensive line is terrible. I think right now, Chris Del Conte's trying to find some of those guys in the NFL that left after their junior year, and he's trying to get them to come back to school for one more run, you know?
What about Sark floating that he's gone and then saying never? That's a fake
do you
news
think
story.
that he floated that? Do you think his people floated that? Because his people, I don't put any, fact in the media. I don't trust the media anyway.
Where's he going to go?
NFL team. If he could go to the Tennessee Titans, I'd go. He's an offensive guru, and they've got the pieces in place.
I mean, he has to deal with his quarterback situation.
That's right.
That's uncomfortable.
He could go to the NFL and do it. But by the way, what could go wrong? Let's see. Maybe pick up the phone and call your mentor, Nick Saban, who went to the Jets.
He
sucked.
Miami didn't do well there. Well, think about the quarterback situation. The Giants didn't think Daniel Jones was worth the crap, and the guy's only tearing it up once he leaves New York. It's the
Peace Trails. How did I change my stance? I don't think I've changed my stance. I've always said that the SEC's top heavy. The top team is usually the best team in college football. The top 3 are usually among the top 5 or 6 in Texas football, but the bottom 6 are all spares, and
just like every conference.
Just like every conference. Oklahoma State, Mississippi State.
I mean, here's the thing now. You only have 4 conferences worth a darn. I think when you had 5 with the Pac-12.
That has like 3 members. Who's out there? Stanford,
Washington State, and Oregon
3.
State. That's it.
3 schools.
Boise State, maybe. But no, I think now that they've consolidated into the Power 4. But it's still the same. I mean, I'm surprised Vandy's where it is, and I don't know that Vandy will be there next year once Pavia leaves. That kid's the difference maker there.
H.R. Mallory says, notice how Aggies aren't saying this is our year. We're going all the way.
There's enough of them saying that.
No, but I'll go a step further and tell you.
We're so beaten down. We don't say that.
No, I think that's honestly, I think that's the quiet leadership of Mike Elko. I love to have fun with you people, but you got to give props where props are due. Mike Elko has done a terrific job in College Station, I think, from a cultural standpoint.
Absolutely.
Don't you?
Yeah.
I think it'll be super interesting if in their bye week, they have a bye week now, if with all these college openings, if they go, we need to redo his contract this week. Because
don't do
they're
it.
snake bit though. They're snake bit because they redid Jimbo's and it
I
cost
understand it's so complex. There's so many variables, but it's an interesting conversation because the Floridas of the world are coming after. And going, I want that dude.
I've been told emphatically that Lane Kiffin is going to leave Ole Miss and go to Florida.
I have too. So
$81 million bucks.
Then who's going to Ole Miss? You're going to have all these.
That wouldn't be Elko, but I could see Elko going to Penn State.
I know, and that's where he's from, right?
And you couldn't be upset with him for doing that.
But and now, because they were snake bit, A&M incentivized his contract. So you win the SEC, you get
another
I don't know
million.
the numbers, hundreds of grand. It's stupid. And you get up to 11 million.
Well, here's the thing with him.
Somebody could just go, we'll guarantee the 11
Well, but here's
million.
here's what won't happen with Elko because of the way college football is set up now. If it was just simply going to a bowl game, Elko would walk after the final regular season to go somewhere else. If they're in the playoffs, he's not walking until they're out of the playoffs. So you have some time. But I think what happens at the end of the year, A&M goes, you know what? those are no longer incentives. Those are hard dollars
Here's
in
the
your contract, and that's how you keep
Mike
them.
Elko's not leaving because of the plethora of fried food restaurants and the Golden Corral in Seastat.
Hey,
He's
Asher,
not leaving.
why is this season seem like people are letting coaches go in the middle of the year versus other years?
It does seem quick, doesn't it?
It's
Weird. I didn't know
yeah.
your name was Ash.
I was actually adding validity to your kill his mic. I was adding validity to your question. Like I should have said, that's a great question, JP. Ash?
I think because college football has become so much like pro football, and it's win now at all costs, that they're cutting the coaches, and they don't care about the $154 million in buyouts that are necessary, because you're now paying college football players astronomical sums of money. Your collectives are driving that bus as your donors used to and your boosters used to, and they're worried that the NIL and the collective money is going to dry up if they don't do something to maintain their appearance of competitiveness. So that's
sending a message to their fan base. We hear you. We hear you loud and clear. Billy Napier's not getting it done at Florida. 2 weeks every
probably
and we still need your money in the Swamp Collective. And
right.
If we don't get rid of Napier, you're not going to give it to us, and we need to be competitive in the portal next year. So,
well, probably too, because there's probably 10 to 15 people that are the major donors of each of these programs, and they've got so much leverage that they
That's
go,
right.
You better do this or I'm out next year.
But here's the thing. I don't know that the next Nick Saban is out there, to be honest. I mean, there's no, that's the interesting thing is where these up and comers. Don't get me wrong. Not every Aggie thought Elko was going to be the savior of that program. There were a lot that disgruntled when they hired him, and now they're all in his corner. But I just don't see somebody coming in and being the next Steve Spurrier in Florida to try to resurrect that program.
The game has changed so much now because you're basically becoming a pro team. You got to pay these players.
Pro football now.
That's where Lane Kiffin comes in, right? Is a guy like Kiffin.
But what has he really done though at the college level? He's got a great name. He hasn't won crap.
But he has really turned around a consistently lagging Ole Miss program and made them a legit contender. And at Florida, he pulls the top line too, right? At Florida, he gets the boosters excited again and brings in money.
Yeah,
ask USC how that worked for him.
Well, that's true. I mean, Lincoln Riley's not good.
He's kind of a goon. Though.
No, he's not a good guy either. I don't think Lane Kiffin's a good guy.
Didn't do much.
Do we need to talk? Are people mad that we're just talking about sports?
Usually, but we don't care. Tammy Keeling does point out that the Aggies are 8-0 with 5 home games. It was a good win on the road on Saturday. When you can say, I will say this, when you can blurt out that we won a night game on the road in the SEC against a SEC opponent
in a place that's tough to win,
then I think you did good. And I think most SEC venues at night on the road are difficult venues, and that's because the preponderance of their crowd is going to be loaded. And if there's no getting around
and those games are on national TV, either on a network or ESPN.
I've been in Tiger Stadium at night. I've been in Tiger Stadium at night with the Aggies back in that run 91 to 95 when LSU finally got honestly scared of playing them and quit playing them when they were still in the Big 12. And
you were scared to walk out of that stadium.
I'm not exaggerating. I'm telling you that everybody in there, especially the women, has some type of a flask. And look, and a full third of that crowd had a sidearm on their person because they were like, you've got to understand, they're like a parish constable deputy, and they just wear their weapons. And I'm just like, man, this is a scary place. It's a scary
I have
place.
A couple of funny stories from LSU. One, I met Shaq in, I think, 96.
How'd you know it was Shaq?
Well, I mean, first of all, everybody's taller than me.
7'2" black guy.
Shaq is really taller.
Really big.
He's like little man. But also to your point, I have a buddy that flew and met me in Chicago that is super connected in Baton Rouge, and we got off the plane and we went straight to the hotel room, and he pulled out a 9mm and unloaded it. And I said, "Do you just have that on the plane?" He's like, "Oh yeah, I'm deputized, and they let me carry it."
Sure.
Are you kidding me?
Yeah. Welcome to Louisiana. Hang on, we're going to take a quick break and then more reminiscing with JP. Allen's Wrecker Service, 578-6300. Let Alan be your go-to toe-to. Alan literally pulled the horns out of Mississippi State last week. He did a great job. Chesnick Furniture, Chesnick and Love, make your house a home. Get by and see why you just always do better at Chesnick.
Always.
They're fantastic people to deal with and super nice people. Bobby Leon and his family serving you and yours. Parvita Wellness, the Vita Cafe. Rumor has it, No Show Briggs is going to make an appearance tomorrow. She's as unlikely as Hank Williams Sr., but there's a chance she's going to show.
Stephanie Ross will show up at the Vita Cafe this Thursday to play on the patio.
Just a
5:30
great
to
little
8:30.
venue. You been to that Vita Cafe, JP?
Yes.
And it's like a nice little venue. And I try to describe it. I say it's kind of California-esque, but in a good
I agree
way.
with that. Yeah,
It's very nice. I highly
Sharp.
recommend you give it a stop.
Light
And
and
if
airy.
Stephanie Ross is playing,
I think she's playing there this Thursday. Yeah,
It's a great
weather
voice.
permitting.
Ads and Offer and adsandoffer.com. You can shop there whether it's raining or not. Go to adsandoffer.com. I like to go in. I want to look at trucks. I want to look at certified pre-owned. I want to see them from price low to high. And then I look at a bunch of things I can't afford. But adsandoffer.com is your home for your next Chevy pickup. Go check them out. Went Services and Went
They're
Electrical.
great for services.
Junior did contract with Went,
Yeah.
and he's going to give us photo updates of his turnkey generator.
I think this week they're going to.
It's coming. I think this week. It's closer than he's ever been.
Yeah. He did buy a Kohler, did not go Generac. He wanted Kohler.
There you go. John Anderson asked, is Earl Campbell still involved in promoting Texas football? To a degree, I think Earl's a special advisor to the AD. Honestly, I think it's like a lifetime pension type thing.
It's like Jose Cruz and the Astros, right?
I think that's a very good analogy. I had heard Earl was making progress and was actually up and walking better again and all that. He just got run to death in the NFL.
Well, he's taking a beating.
But Win Electric, even with the Kohler, they come and service our generator for Kohler. So even if they're not doing the installation, and
You
we
can
have this,
still
like,
get with them to
giant
come do it.
Yeah, they'll
Kohler,
come and
redo
do it,
the whole. Yeah, it's like a yearly oil change they do.
Right.
They check the batteries and check the oil filters, everything, and it's like a full day thing, and they're pros at it.
Yep.
And just to lay on top of that, Alan's Wrecker Service, Alan Miller's one of the best people. He will support local businesses like no person I've ever seen in my life.
Amen.
So support him. If you need anything towing, please go to him. He's supported so many things that I've done and been just ridiculous in how he does it. So I'm a huge fan.
Great comment. Thank you.
Folks, we're going to ask you, go to thesportsadvocate.com, sign up to get Mike Foreman's latest and greatest articles on area sports. If you're a high school sports fan, Mike Foreman is still writing great pieces covering all the schools in the area that are no longer covered by anyone else but Mike. And
but if you're just
you
a
can catch
fan
his
of a
latest
well-written
on-
story,
yeah,
a well-written tale,
on Wake 10.
yeah, you can go to thesportsadvocate.com, or you can go to our website, WadeandCarter.com, and find him there and link in to it's $9.99 a month. It's $100 a year. Did you know, like this weekend, I visited with Mike on Thursday, and he went and covered the Bay City El Campo game that I did not know, Ash.
It's one of the oldest.
The oldest
Oh, it is the oldest.
continuously running rivalry in Texas, 106 straight years.
I had no
They
idea.
took a little time off, JP, during World War One. Okay, it's true.
World
story.
War II was just a blip on
That
their
was
schedule.
nothing.
They
The
didn't worry
games
about
must go on.
it. Yeah, the Great War was
But
the one
they
they were
played like
worried about.
116 times or something, and 106 consecutively.
Wow.
It's the
That's
oldest rivalry in Texas high school
See,
sports.
and unless Mike writes about that, nobody knows that.
Right. And that was the story. Bay City won the game. And by the way, Mike told me before, I said, who should win that game? He goes, Bay City will beat them. And Bay City did. I made the comment on Twitter this week. I said, maybe now, after last year, maybe now is the time when Texas runs into the fact that playing in the SEC is very tough. And maybe they do lose. Maybe they lose these next 4 games. So I will throw back to you as a football fan, each of you. If they do that, I mean, is Sark on the hot seat? I mean, is that a time to start thinking about,
No, because he had 2 10-win seasons, right?
yeah,
So
25 in the first
even-
in the first 2 years.
even though
last
they
2
were
years.
jokes of a season, but
Right, okay.
I
Okay.
think that he gets a pass this year unless he wants to leave. And
Well, if he leaves, I'll tell you what'll happen if he leaves.
this would be a bad year for a coach to leave like that.
I'll
because-
tell you what, if Sark,
Billy Napier.
no, if Sark leaves, you'll see Nick Saban decide he wants to coach again.
Oh,
The
God.
reason he left
His-
Alabama was they were out of money.
His wife's already looking at real estate.
Miss Terry, no.
How do you get? How
No,
can you
Nick
keep
Saban is done. He does not
Yeah,
want to
how can
coach
you
college
keep
football
stirring
anymore.
up those joke of a rumors?
He said it. He was like, I don't like NIL and I don't like what college football's
I
doing.
know who will get.
By the way, sorry to interrupt you, Brent.
You're not interrupting.
I'm fascinated because College Game Day, I am in love with now.
Sure, me too.
I think it has gotten so good,
It
and I think Pat McAfee has added a ton to
Or
it.
Pat McAfee.
Don't-
McAfee,
he's
sorry.
on a roll. Let him go.
But last night I was reading that they're saying that people want to get rid of him. And it was on the headline of the Atlantic last night.
Why?
And I don't know. I think he's
Too
unbelievable.
wild.
I
He's
think
too,
the show's great. Supposedly behind the scenes, he's putting pressure. I want to do it this way. That needs to go this way. I think it adds so much.
I think they
it's
should
added
listen to him. Don't you?
so
Ash?
much fun to the show.
It
That
brings
I
a
didn't-
little WWE to it in a way.
exactly.
Yeah.
The money for the kick for the
Isn't
field
that a
goal.
great
That's
thing?
awesome.
It's unbelievable. Like I'm running through the house going, he made it.
He
Like,
genuinely likes it when they.
Yeah.
And that one girl got like it was going to be 150 grand, and they doubled it to 300. I think Herbie got involved, and that girl kicked, and they gave her a check, and the raw emotion of you just gave me a check for $300,000 you paid for my college, and she was like, "Mom and Dad, Mom and
Yeah.
Dad."
y'all are good now.
Awesome.
300 grand to pay for a college. It's a hell of a college experience.
Yeah.
And on this weekend, he did. The guy had already. It was like I kicked in high school a little bit. He's like, all right, well, you get one kick. We're not going to do it twice.
And they backed
We'll
him
give you-
up, didn't they?
We'll give you $500,000, and we'll give. I think that was 250 for charity or something like that. And he nailed it. Like
That's awesome.
Made it by 25 yards over.
Yeah, they had a kid
That's
a couple
awesome.
weeks ago. He just shanked it, duck hooked it, and it wasn't pretty, but
Junior
That
Simple
would, be,
says.
that would be me, Ash. I would totally shank it.
Junior, well, you'd be like, hold my cocktail. Junior Simple says, I have used every sponsor Wade and Carter has. Some of
has.
them are still in business,
He's never given me a dime.
right? Hey, we love you guys. It's a great Monday. Thank you for coming in,
thanks,
JP.
JP. Appreciate it.
By the way, anytime you want to just stop in, and hey, I'm going to say it one more time. Gig 'em Aggies. Great
Very good.
job this weekend. Go get them.
Bye, folks.
Bye, folks.
Every bar around. I've been locked